Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that, well, we try to cut through the noise and get to the stories that really shape things that still resonate today.
Exactly.
And today, wow, we are jumping headfirst into one of the most iconic periods, maybe one of the most turbulent too, the American Wild West.
Definitely turbulent.
Yeah, I mean, a time when law and order, well, they were pretty fluid concepts, right? And you had these figures emerge who basically defined justice on their own terms.
Like their own rules, yeah.
Our focus for this deep dive, it's legendary, no doubt about it, but also really controversial. Wyatt Earp's Vendetta ride. We're talking Tombstone, Arizona, late 1881.
Yeah.
Right after that that very famous gunfight at the OK Corral.
Right. And our mission really is to try and get past the Hollywood version, you know.
Go beyond the myth.
Yeah, exactly. To really unpack the event, like the sequence that pushed Wyatt Earp to just abandon the badge, essentially.
Take matters into his own hands.
And look at the gritty details, the brutal reality of the ride itself. And maybe most importantly, how his actions still kind of echo, how they shape how we think about frontier justice.
It's complex stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's layered. And it shows you just how personal a quest for justice can become.
That's it. And for you listening, we're not just going to list dates and names. We want to find the surprising bits, the strategies, the sheer personal stakes for a guy who decided the law just wasn't cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess the big question is what happens? What happens when a lawman steps outside the very law he swore to uphold?
Right.
Okay, so let's picture it. It's late October 1881, Tombstone, Arizona. Maybe a bit crisp in the morning air. And you've got Wyatt Earp, his brothers, Virgil and Morgan, their friend Doc Holliday.
White the Crow.
Facing off against the Clanton and McLaury gang near the OK Corral. Now, the Earps and Holliday, they came out on top in that specific fight.
They did.
But the trouble, as all the sources show, it was far from over.
Oh, far from it. And that's what's really key here. That gunfight, it didn't end anything. If anything, it just cranked up the heat.
Right.
Tombstone was already split, you know, deep divisions, political, social.
Yeah.
And the OK Corral, it became this flashpoint. The Clantons, McLaurys, the whole sort of cowboy faction linked to the rural outlaws.
They saw the Earps differently.
Totally. They saw the Earps, who were tied to the town's Republican business leaders, as the enemy, as oppressors.
Okay.
So when the Earps won that gunfight, it just fueled this bitterness, this resentment that was already simmering. Tombstone became a powder keg, really.
And it didn't take long to explode, did it?
No. First, Virgil Earp gets ambushed, December 81. He's badly wounded, loses the use of his arm.
Terrible. But that wasn't even the breaking point for Wyatt.
Apparently not the final one. The real point of no return, the moment that truly changed everything for Wyatt, that came a few months later. March 18th, 1882.
The assassination of his younger brother, Morgan.
Exactly. Shot in the back.
Wow.
While playing pool.
Just brutal.
And that act, I mean, based on everything we've read, it just shattered Wyatt's belief in the system.
He saw it as deliberate, calculated.
Absolutely. An escalation by the cowboys and the justice system. It just seemed useless. Paralyzed.
So what was it specifically? What failures in the law made Wyatt finally say, okay, forget this, I'm doing this my way?
Well, you nailed it. It was that feeling of complete system failure. Wyatt was convinced the local sheriff, Johnny Behan,
who had ties to the cowboys, right?
Exactly. He thought Behan was either in on it or just completely ineffective. Remember, after Virgil was shot, the grand jury didn't indict anyone.
Despite evidence.
Despite pretty strong evidence, yeah. So when Morgan is murdered right after that, Wyatt he loses all faith.
Yeah.
It wasn't just grief, though obviously that was huge. It was this crisis of confidence in the law he'd represented.
Wow.
Some accounts say he literally knelt by Morgan's body and swore he'd hunt down every single person involved.
So this wasn't just a manhunt anymore.
No. This was the start of a vendetta, a full-blown vendetta.
So the laws failed him. He's not just after personal revenge, maybe, but he's stepping into this vacuum where his kind of justice is the only option left.
Kind of, yeah. Frontier justice, they called it. And he puts together this posse. His loyal friend, Doc Holliday, of course.
Couldn't do without Doc.
Seems unlikely. And others, guys like Sherman McMaster, Turkey Creek Johnson, people he could trust.
So how did this group, basically Wyatt's private army, how did they plan to operate? Outside the law, obviously.
Well, it's interesting because many of them had been lawmen. They weren't just random thugs.
Right.
But their method, it was direct, lethal. Find the guys they blame for attacking the Earps, confront them.
No arrests, no trials.
Nope. just retribution, shootouts. They use the Arizona desert as their base of operations. Huge, harsh country, heat, rough terrain, constant threat of ambush.
High stakes. And it wasn't exactly clean, was it? The first big confrontation involved Frank Stillwell.
That's right. Stillwell was known to be involved in Morgan's murder. Wyatt's posse corners him at the train station in Tucson.
And this wasn't an arrest attempt.
No. The accounts describe it as, well, a swift execution. Brutal. They found his body riddled with bullets the next morning.
So what does that tell us about Wyatt's mindset right then?
It shows just how absolute they were. Unforgiving resolve. Stillwell's killing was, well, it was extrajudicial. A clear signal. Wyatt was done with legal boundaries.
No due process here.
Not a bit. It was immediate payback. Visible payback. Wyatt later claims self-defense, but
it cemented the ride as vengeance.
Absolutely. And it put a target on their backs, too. It made them outlaws in the eyes of the official law, even while they saw themselves as delivering justice.
You really can't talk about Wyatt Earp without talking about Doc Holliday.
Oh, impossible.
The sources always paint him as this, sharp-tongued gambler, consumptive, but fiercely loyal. And deadly.
Absolutely deadly with a gun.
What moments during the Vendetta ride really show Doc's role and that bond between them?
Well, like you said, it's a bond forged in pretty extreme circumstances. Gunpowder and loyalty. Doc wasn't just backup. He was smart. Strategic, even.
Yeah.
His quick thinking, his quick draw, apparently got them out of several tight spots. After Morgan died, when Wyatt was, understandably, losing it a bit.
Spiraling.
Yeah. Doc was the steady one, gave counsel, support, rock solid, and during the ride itself, the story suggests Doc was often the first to spot danger, react in a shootout.
Providing cover.
Critical cover, kept the posse going. Their friendship, it adds this really human layer to all the violence, doesn't it? Shows that deep loyalty could exist even in the middle of a brutal revenge quest.
And the ride, it really hit its peak, didn't it, with that showdown against Curly Bill Brocious.
Oh, yeah, the big one.
One of the most feared outlaws around. This happened near a place called Iron Springs.
That's the spot.
And the story, the legend maybe, is that Wyatt basically walked right into an ambush, almost unarmed.
Well, the details get hazy, but that Iron Springs fight is definitely pivotal. Is where a lot of the Earp legend really takes hold.
So what happened?
The embellished version has Wyatt on foot, bullets flying everywhere, single-handedly taking down Curly Bill with a shotgun.
Sounds like a movie.
Right. But what seems more grounded in the sources is the sheer nerve involved. Apparently, Wyatt did dismount, maybe to fix his saddle cinch or something.
Putting himself right out in the open.
Exactly. Just as the outlaws opened fire. His coolness under pressure right then, supposedly firing back with both a shotgun and a pistol while his hat gets shot off, that cemented his image.
The unkillable lawman.
Pretty much. It became the symbol of his, steely resolve, almost mythical fearlessness. And yeah, it's where history and legend really start to blur.
So the Vendetta ride winds down. Wyatt and his posse, they've taken out several key members of the cowboy faction. Stillwell, Curly Bill, others.
Significant figures, yeah.
But his actions obviously had huge consequences. He wasn't a hero to everyone.
Not by a long shot. Warrants were issued for his arrest. For murder.
So he was hunted by the law himself.
Yes. He and his group were forced to flee Arizona. Wyatt eventually settled in California, living out his years there. Quite an end to that chapter.
What an incredible journey, though.
Yeah.
It really speaks volumes about that whole era, doesn't it? The wildness, the blurred lines.
It really does. And what's fascinating is how we still debate this ride,
Still controversial.
Absolutely. His methods, he broke the very laws he used to enforce. He became a fugitive. Yet his story became this enduring legend.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it tapped into something about the Wild West spirit, right? This idea of a man taking a stand, fighting for justice, maybe his idea of justice.
When the system fails.
Precisely. When the established system seems broken or corrupt. So the ride, it's more than just history. It's this powerful story that keeps getting told. Books, movies, folklore.
Keeping that image alive.
Yeah. Reminding us of a time when justice, quote unquote, often rode on horseback, and the desert echoed with gunfire.
So, looking back at this whole really intense chapter, what does it all mean for us today? What should we take away from it?
That's the core question, isn't it? And maybe it's one for you, listening, to think about, too. What does Wyatt Earp's Vendetta ride really tell us about that line? A line between personal vengeance and actual justice.
especially when the system seems to fail.
Exactly. When people feel the system isn't working, where does that leave them? And also, how do we square the legend, this almost heroic figure of Wyatt Earp, with the reality of those controversial extrajudicial actions?
Yeah.
It's a tough one to reconcile.